If you were not looking closely at Trina Robinson's hands during that final scene at the gallery, you completely missed the real story. Everyone was so focused on the dialogue, but her body language told a completely different tale. When Kai reached out to touch her arm, she subtly flinched and pulled away, creating an inch of physical distance that speaks volumes about the emotional chasm growing between them. It was a tiny, fleeting moment, a micro expression of discomfort that the camera barely caught, but it changes absolutely everything we thought we knew about their relationship. That slight pull away was not just a random movement, it was the physical manifestation of a romance that has hit an absolute brick wall. For months, we have watched these two essentially run in place, and that single gesture proves that Trina is already checking out of this relationship mentally, emotionally, and physically. The writing is on the wall, and it is spelled out in the space she is desperately trying to put between herself and Kai. If you ask me, the relationship between Kai and Trina is rapidly approaching its bitter end, and it is not going to conclude with a massive, screaming fight. Instead, it is dying a slow, agonizing death of stagnation. For what feels like an eternity, their storyline has been absolutely frozen in time. They have shared scenes, sure, they have had their little coffee dates and polite conversations, but there is no spark, no forward momentum, and absolutely no growth. It is like watching paint dry on a canvas that was never finished. While Kai seems perfectly content to just exist in this standstill, playing the role of the safe, dependable boyfriend, Trina is a dynamic, brilliant young woman who is actively evolving. She has survived unimaginable heartbreak, stood strong during trials, and she refuses to let her life stall. The contrast between her vibrant spirit and the dull reality of her current romance is staggering. You can literally see the light fading from her eyes whenever she is forced to play the dutiful girlfriend. But then, we see that same light reignite the second she steps into a room with people who challenge and inspire her. Enter Giovanni Palmieri and the intoxicating world of music. Gio and Trina have been spending an increasing amount of time together, collaborating and supporting each other's artistic endeavors. Gio's passion for his music has acted as a catalyst for Trina, opening doors she never even knew existed and introducing her to a completely different social circle. She is no longer just the grieving girl or the gallery assistant. She is a young woman stepping into a brand new era of her professional and personal life. This new environment is vibrant, creative, and full of endless possibilities. And it is in this exciting new space that the writers have introduced a massive complication. But that's not even the craziest part. It is in this vibrant world that she crosses paths with Simon, a highly influential music producer who has taken a keen interest in Gio's talent. But let us be brutally honest here, guys. Simon's interest does not stop at the music or at Gio. The chemistry between Simon and Trina is palpable, natural, and entirely effortless. From the moment they shared the screen, the air crackled with a totally different kind of energy. They share these lingering glances, these easy, knowing smiles that Trina and Kai have not shared in months, perhaps ever. Simon is sophisticated, mature, and he sees Trina for the absolute powerhouse she is. He treats her with a level of professional respect mixed with romantic intrigue that is incredibly refreshing. He listens to her opinions on art and music as if they are the most important things in the world. This brewing connection with Simon is a ticking time bomb for Trina's current relationship. When a romance has been treading water for as long as hers and Kai's has, it only takes one new, exciting person to make you realize how miserable you actually are. Simon represents everything Trina is currently lacking: passion, mystery, forward momentum, and an undeniable intellectual connection. I firmly believe that the writers are meticulously setting the stage for a brand new romantic storyline, and Simon is the catalyst that will finally break the chains of her current stagnation. If this theory holds true, Trina is going to be the one to pull the plug on her relationship with Kai. It will not be out of malice, and she certainly will not set out to betray him, but Simon's presence has awakened a part of her that Kai has inadvertently put to sleep. But that's not even the craziest part. While Trina is navigating these confusing new feelings for Simon, we have to pivot to the sinister undercurrent that has been plaguing her life recently. For weeks, our beloved Trina has been haunted by the unshakable feeling that she's being watched. A mysterious figure lurking in the shadows, always just out of sight. We have seen the rustling bushes in the park, the shadowy silhouette standing outside the gallery window in the pouring rain. The entire town of Port Charles, and frankly most of the audience, has immediately assumed that this stalker is a dangerous predator plotting to do her harm. We all know the PCPD is notoriously slow to catch on, leaving Trina to constantly look over her shoulder, her heart racing, terrified of the unknown threat lurking in the dark. It is a classic soap opera setup, painting her as a damsel in distress. But what if we have this entirely backwards? What if this long-buried secret is not a threat at all? If you ask me, this stalker has absolutely zero intention of hurting Trina. In fact, they are acting as a silent guardian. This person is forced to remain in the shadows, unable to reveal their true identity publicly due to some massive, life-threatening complication, so they have resorted to watching over her from a distance to ensure she is safe. It is a protective surveillance, born out of deep, desperate love rather than malicious intent. They are watching her smile with Gio, watching her flirt with Simon, and standing guard to make sure no actual harm comes to her. It is tragic, really, being so close to the person you love but unable to reach out and touch them. But that's not even the craziest part. Here is where the impending tragedy strikes, and it all revolves around Kai. Kai is not blind. He can feel Trina slipping away from him. He sees the way she lights up around Simon, and it is eating him alive. Desperate to prove his worth, desperate to be the hero in her story, and fiercely protective of his girlfriend, Kai is going to notice this stalker. Driven by a volatile mix of genuine concern and deep-seated insecurity about his failing relationship, Kai is going to take matters into his own hands. He is not going to call the authorities. He is going to confront this mysterious figure head-on. He wants to be the knight in shining armor who slays the dragon, hoping that saving Trina will magically repair their fractured romance and make her look at him the way she used to. Imagine the scene. A dark, foggy alley behind the Metro Court, tensions running incredibly high. Kai spots the shadowy figure watching Trina from afar. Without a second thought, Kai launches a preemptive strike against the person he believes is a dangerous predator. He will attack first, throwing punches and asking questions later, fully believing he is doing the right thing. But because the stalker is not a villain, they will be completely caught off guard. However, survival instincts will kick in, and the mysterious watcher will be forced to defend themselves against Kai's sudden, violent assault. In the ensuing chaotic struggle, a tragic accident will occur. Kai is going to end up severely, perhaps critically injured. He might hit his head on the pavement or suffer a devastating blow that leaves him unconscious and bleeding out in the alley. But that's not even the craziest part. The sickening irony of this situation is going to wreak devastation on everyone involved. Kai's desperate attempt to save his relationship and protect Trina will be the exact thing that destroys him. Trina is going to receive that dreaded phone call from General Hospital, rushing to the emergency room only to find the man she was just about to break up with fighting for his life. The guilt is going to consume her. How can she possibly end things with a man who literally put his life on the line to protect her from a perceived threat? She will feel trapped, bound to Kai, not by love, but by an overwhelming sense of obligation and horrific guilt. But the writers are not going to stop there. They are preparing to drop the ultimate bombshell. The jaw-dropping twist comes when the dust settles, the police investigate the alley, and the identity of the stalker is finally revealed to a horrified Trina. Brace yourselves, guys, because I am absolutely convinced that the man hiding in the shadows, the man Kai just viciously attacked, is none other than Spencer Cassadine! Yes, you heard me right. Spencer. I have never, for one single second, believed that Spencer was truly gone forever after that tragic incident with Esme in Paris. General Hospital has a long, storied history of resurrecting our favorite characters just when we have given up all hope, and Spencer Cassadine is prime real estate for a miraculous return. Spencer is alive, but for reasons likely involving his own safety, perhaps a lingering threat from Victor's loyalists, or some dark, twisted Cassadine family drama that he needs to resolve, he cannot officially return to the land of the living just yet. He has been agonizingly close to Trina for weeks, watching her try to move on, making sure she is okay, and suffering in silence as he sees her with Kai and Simon. When Kai attacks him, Spencer will have no choice but to fight back to protect his own life and his secret, inadvertently putting his romantic rival in the hospital. The realization that Spencer is alive, coupled with the horrifying truth that her current boyfriend was nearly killed trying to protect her from the absolute love of her life, is going to shatter Trina's world into a million pieces. This revelation is going to create the most complex emotional web we have seen on this show in a decade. With Kai lying in a hospital bed, broken and potentially facing a long, grueling recovery, Trina is going to be incredibly vulnerable. On one side, she will have Spencer, the epic love of her life, miraculously returned from the grave, but carrying a mountain of dark secrets and the heavy burden of what he accidentally did to Kai. Their reunion will be tainted by blood and guilt. On the other side, there is Simon, the smooth, mature music producer who offers her a fresh start, a complication free romance, and a bright future in the music industry. Simon will be the steady rock she needs while her past violently collides with her present. And where does that leave Kai? Sadly, I believe Kai is destined to become the tragic collateral damage in this sweeping, epic saga. Even if he recovers physically, the emotional truth will eventually come out. He will realize that Trina's heart was already drifting towards Simon before the accident, and the miraculous return of Spencer Cassadine will be the final nail in the coffin. Standing between a resurrected soulmate and an exciting new future, Kai will be left behind in the dust, a victim of his own insecurities and a tragic misunderstanding. The writers are setting up a monumental shift in Port Charles, and Trina Robinson is right at the epicenter of the earthquake. So, what do you think will happen when Trina finally comes face to face with the ghost she has been mourning? Will she fall back into Spencer's complicated, dangerous world, or will she choose the bright, promising future that Simon represents? And will Kai ever forgive himself, or Trina, when he wakes up and realizes he lost the girl anyway? We will just have to wait and see, because the storm hitting Port Charles is going to change everything, and I promise you, nobody is making it out of this with their heart intact. So,